Alright, so this story is about how I evolved from a little fat kid with a buzz cut to this gorgeous femboy that you see before you. Alright, for context, I'm definitely not as pretty as my avatar, but I am kind of femboyish now. And I'm going to tell you the secret to how it all went from, if I still have the picture, this to this. Alright, so, for those who don't know, I didn't start getting fat until I was like early teenage life. And the reason this happened was I was forced to take medications, which these medications, they slowed down my metabolism and got me to be a kind of a fat with some man boobs, which I still kind of got those man boobs now, which is why people think I'm a woman half the time. But yeah, once I was 18, I stopped taking the medication, and then I kind of just hibernated. My schedule was pretty much wake up, go to my computer, watch some anime, work on a Flash video, because at the time, I actually was interested in making Flash videos. And for those who don't know, I do have a Newgrounds account, which I just regained access to this year. So if you want to see the cringe that I created, like, I don't know, 15 years ago, it's bad. It is, oh god, it's embarrassing, but it's there if you can find it. Because I didn't want to delete it, because I never want to forget what I once was, and I never want to go back to that. So eventually, I started to slim down. I just lost a massive amount of weight, and because I was constantly staying inside, my hair kind of just grew out. So when I was done doing my Flash projects, I would just sleep for like 12 to 18 hours a day. I would eat like one small meal, which was probably like some pizza, and then rinse and repeat. And this process went on for like almost a year, where I just slimmed down to almost nothing. The problem is, because I lost that weight so fast, I was almost 300 pounds at one point. And I went down to, I think, like 170, 180 or something. And, yeah, I've got stretch marks now, and those will never go away unless I guess, get surgery or maybe get tattoos over them, which I've been considering, but I don't know. So, now that I'm slim and have the long hair, I'm now left with being a very socially awkward, slim, long hair. I didn't go to femboy yet. I was definitely not femboy. At that time, I was still very straight, very, how shall we say, anti-LGBT, because again, I had a very right-wing family, and their views were kind of ingrained into me. So, I was probably what you would call an incel. So eventually, I would go to conventions, and I got myself a Sasuke costume from, Naruto Shippuden, the incel continues, and I got my first girlfriend, and lost my virginity. And let me tell you something, when you lose your virginity, something happens. You realize, oh my god, sex is not this thing that you thought it was. It's just glorified masturbation. So now that that weight of being a virgin is off your shoulders, you kind of chill and mellow out. And, eventually being away from most of my family, I started to hang around the LGBT community a bit, and it was like, oh wow, they're not these terrible, disgusting people that my family portrayed them as. And, I still considered myself straight, which didn't last. Eventually I became bisexual, now pansexual, and I became a lot less socially awkward. I'm still pretty socially awkward, but I learned things. I've basically opened my mind to a lot of things, and I'm definitely not what I used to be. Now, I also started going to the gym, and there was a point in my life where I think I was probably the most attractive I ever was. I never got that six-pack that I wanted, but there was a point where I was pretty toned. If I still have the picture, we'll put it right over there. But now, because I haven't been to the gym in a while, I would always be stuck at the weight 180 to 190, depending on whether I worked out, how much I ate, and how lazy I was. However, as of late, I started taking Adderall for my ADHD. And for the first time in my life, I broke that 180 barrier. In fact, I broke it so much that I weighed myself today. As of February 7th, filming this, it is currently almost 4 in the morning because I work overnight and I'm off today. I was at 167 pounds. I have never been this low. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm able to fit into a lot of things that I didn't think I could fit in. A lot of these spandex outfits that was sent to me that didn't fit. It's usually because I'm tall, so I can't really zip it up due to my height, but I guess slimming down did help it a lot. But the Femboy thing didn't really kick in until, I want to say, 5 years ago, where I did like a crossplay thing as a joke, and a lot of people really liked it and said, you should do more of this. It started with a Shy Gal cosplay, where I would just like, I remember specifically, I went to a club at a convention dressed as Shy Gal, and there was like so many people hitting on me, but I never gave away that I was a guy at the time. I was just, you know, acting like a Shy Gal, just quiet, and then finally a dude offers to buy me a drink. I poked like a little hole into my mask so I could drink, and he was like, oh my god, you're so cute. And then I finally look up at him, I'm like, I'm also a guy. He's like, I don't care. I'm like, I mean, okay. So he's like, can I see your face? I'm like, fine. So I show him my face. I'm like, oh my god, you are hot though. I'm like, okay. But here's the problem. He wasn't my type at all. He was kind of looking. No offense, dude. I'm sorry. But he was like, can I get like you know, can't say it on YouTube, but he wanted some kind of favor that involved my mouth. And I'm like, you know what, dude? I'll make you a deal. If you can get me drunk, sure. This is me soberly consenting to it. If you can get me drunk. But I don't think your wallet can handle it. He's like, challenge accepted. The dude dropped like $100 on these drinks called Blue Motherfuckers. I did not know what a Blue Motherfucker was. So after like the 8th drink, he finally gave up and left. And I turned to the bartender who's laughing at this guy. I'm like, what is a Blue Motherfucker? He's like, oh, it's just a Long Island iced tea with blue curacao. And I'm just like, oh no, I have made a terrible mistake. Because prior to those 8 Blue Motherfuckers, I also had one that I got with my free voucher for getting in when I worked for Cosplay Deviants. And then I got like the equivalent of 3 more from my buddy who filled an entire like pirate bottle with it. So I ran up to my soon-to-be at the time girlfriend. My god, I glitched out again, sorry. And I'm like, listen, I just consumed probably the equivalent of 10 or 11 Long Island iced teas. I know you wanted to do stuff with me tonight. We have to do it now. We need to get back to my hotel room before this alcohol hits. So we get back to the bathroom, and this just turned into a completely separate story. So I think I might have told this story already. So if I haven't, I'll tell it in another story. But if I did, I'll link it at the end of the video. Anyway, so Shy Gal turned into me doing a few outfits, which eventually evolved into me making a Patreon, which made me some money. And I'm like, wow, I could make a side hustle out of this. So one side hustle got taken down, turned into an OnlyFans because, you know, people hate sex work. And it just kind of became a thing from there. My evolution into being a kind of a crappy femboy into a, I guess I'm kind of an elder femboy at this point. The sad thing is I still suck at makeup. So if I could master makeup, I'd be unstoppable. But for now, I'm still learning. I'm still putting out content for fun. I started doing TikToks with the femboy stuff, which apparently China is not a fan of because so many of my videos get banned for thunder thighs, which is also why I created this outfit, because my thunder thighs are now concealed. So I'm going to be premiering this outfit on TikTok, if I haven't already, by the time this video releases soon. And, you know, if that gets flagged, then, well, fuck my life. But yeah, that's pretty much how I went from being fat, short hair, incel to whatever this is you see before you. Yeah, it's not a very inspiring story. Medication fucked me and medication helped me.